Good evening, everyone. As we come to the conclusion of this enriching and thought-provoking technical conclave of 2 days, it is my privilege to welcome you all to the valedictory session. For the valedictory session, we have as the chief guest Padmashree awardee Professor K Shridhar sir and Dr. G.P. Sudhakar sir, member Governing Council, Chairman Governing Council CEED. I request both of them to please come forward. Professor K Shridhar, founder Chancellor Chanakya University, and he is a president for CES, an inspiring professor in management, popularly known as MKS. He is a teacher, researcher, institution builder, and a mentor to thousands of students. He has teaching and research experience of over 40 years and has served as professor, dean, and director of Department of Management Studies at Bangalore University. He was a member of Secretary and Executive Director of Karnataka Knowledge Commission from 2000 to 2013. He was also a member of Committee for Draft National Education Policy, Central Advisory Board of Education, Ministry of HRD, UGC, and member of All India Board of Management Studies, AICTE. He has also served as member of Executive Council of Central University of Gujarat and Kerala. His Excellency, the Governor of Karnataka, has appointed him as the Vice President of Indian Red Cross Society, Karnataka Chapter. He was conferred with Karnataka Rajyotsava Award by Government of Karnataka and General President Gold Medal by Indian Science Congress Association. He has been honored with the esteemed Padmashree Award for his outstanding contributions to literature and education. A warm welcome to you, sir. Also, we have with us Dr. G.P. Sudhakar, Chairman, Governing Council CEED. Welcome you, sir. Over the course of discussion throughout these 2 days, we have dwelled into critical aspects of industry expectations, skill development, and the future of technical education. As we move forward, it is essential to reflect on key takeaways and chart a path ahead for sustained progress and meaningful collaboration. Now I request Dr. G.P. Sudhakar sir to share the reflections and way forward based on the 2-day technical conclave. Over to you, sir.
The first thing I want to say is that acknowledge that all of you have been such a wonderful audience last 2 days. So, to make it short, I have chosen to list 10 points, okay, from the last 2 days. What I think is of some value to me, which is something that I take away from these 2 days. So I'll just restrict to just the 10 points. If I reflect on what Dr. Subramania said, it's a lot also to do with managements and management's commitments, management willingness to invest both in faculty training, also in equipment, in those collaborative efforts. So management plays an important role in better technical training. The second one, this is actually I picked from the talk by Mr. Prakash. He said that people after engineering, when they can't secure a job, they come to us for training, okay? So it just goes to say how important this skill or vocational aspect of the training is. So it's not a nice reflection of engineering, but still it is the truth and we must kind of consider this The third is that, Dr. Anbu basically insisted that technology as pedagogy. So he said that until we use technology in our pedagogy, it's going to be difficult, even to transfer skills. And he was talking about all kinds of simulations and all kinds of things that are required for us to incorporate in our day-to-day classrooms, using technology in our classrooms. Okay. He also talked about YouTube having a lot of resources and things like that. Okay. I listed it fourth, but actually to me it's the most important takeaway for me from this 2 days. They use different expressions. Okay, somebody said culture, somebody said mindset, somebody said attitude, somebody said human aspects, I think. And somebody said soft skills, somebody said, different words. So ethics, somebody mentioned about ethics. So finally it's about this soft human aspect, okay, what we call the man-making education being an important part of technical training. And this is what they found as all of them, in fact, they use different expressions, but they said that this is an important component of this technical training that is being missed out. Okay, so it is something for all of us to think that are we just delivering only the curriculum that is set by some technical university, or is there something else that is required? And from Mr. Harish's profile, he talked about part-time engineering programs for those with work experience. I think, actually I know a person in the IIM Bangalore. Recently he was sent to Singapore to get students. I said, that is so funny. Why would IIM send somebody to market a program and get students? And he said, no, sir, but we lack diversity. Our targets for diversity are not being achieved. And therefore, we have to go and sell this. So then I'm connecting with this part-time BTech or people who can join later with work experience. I think it will add a lot to the classroom. Okay, so this is one of the things that I thought. And a lot of them also spoke about faculty internships. They used, again, different words, but they were all talking about faculty needs to get trained in industry if they want to transfer skills. Okay, so some people, use different words. They said training or internship or whatever, but they wanted faculty to spend time with industry. Now there was a question about, again, the management's role in funding such a thing, because to give the faculty off for 2 weeks or 6 weeks. Okay. And if I go by the TVS discussion, to me, what was interesting is, even though they are not an academic institution, they're using some solid frameworks for instructional design. Okay, so in our classrooms or before we prepare for the class, not many of us are still using the ADDIE or the Kirkpatrick model and all that he spoke about. Nothing complicated actually, but somehow we are not sticking to that or not following the instructional design so well. So that's something I found of value from that. The other takeaway for me is that, rather than wait for managements to do their job, curriculum to change, curriculum to have more of practical or skill-based, it appears there is a lot of opportunity for faculty to do their bit. That means one can start the process and rather than, wait for things to happen. In one other talk, the thing I picked up was about the transfer of responsibility of learning. Right? So I understand the challenge. Actually, all my life I have taught in the MBA program. So it will be either at least 22, 23-year-olds. But in your case, it's slightly different. They talked about, first 2 years he being a child and second 2 years he's an adult or things like that. So it's an interesting challenge. But even for a school child, I think the importance of taking on the responsibility for learning, this is something we can definitely work on. We should not always be responsible for the learning. I think it's time that we transfer that responsibility to the learner rather than teacher. There was also a lot of and many ideas connected with teaching courses or teaching methodology for engineering faculty being taught, right? So there is no course where engineering faculty can go and learn about teaching. They learn about engineering, but they don't learn about teaching. So this is actually something that we need to consider. And one is the industry training, but also pedagogical training is also missing. Okay. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I kind of took away from this. And the last point is, in the last discussion there was a question about, 7th semester, 6th semester, the recruitments, when they should happen and all that. So here I wanted to add my bit. So in my view, one of the biggest things missing, not only, I don't know about engineering education so much, but generally in our higher education system, is about our counseling. Okay, you may have different name, mentoring, counseling, whatever it is. But when the student is making a choice at 5th semester without knowing what are all the options he might get, or in fact where he might fit, right? So what is the faculty doing at that time? Are we having a one-to-one conversation? Are we able to guide every student as to, based on your strengths, this is what I have identified, this may be, one area you might kind of like to choose. And this kind of counseling is not happening. And of course, which means we also have to know about all the roles, all the organizations and all of that. But, this is something that I feel also is one way we can solve this problem. So those were my takeaways from this. As far as next steps, right? So I'm very delighted that as SES, we have now built a small community of professors interested in excelling at technical training, right? I want each one of you to participate as a member of this community. Don't let it stop at the just end of 2 days. We will keep in touch and we will see how we can interact again so that this becomes something that is common across all colleges, so whatever is the requirement, if it is a faculty training requirement, if it is a connection with industry that somebody wants, whatever the requirements, we are here to kind of see in what way we can support that. And so we want this to be a community where each of you will participate and spread whatever you have learned with your colleagues, and then increase the number of people interested in technical training in the kind that that they are employable, they become good citizens, in every way contribute to the student. So yeah, thank you for your patient listening. I think that's it from me. I request Professor Shridhar to talk to us for some time.
Thank you, sir. I know from this 2-day conclave, you people have more takeaways. I request any two of the participants to please come forward and give your feedback about this 2-day technical conclave. Anyone?
Good evening. I am Kirti Prasad from MIT Mysore. So, all the sessions, almost all except few, are good, especially from RBC principle, what you said, that is the excellence center developed, and also what are the facilities available. And also, second session is also good. And also some of the sessions are good. And so my thing is, so please provide, if you conduct the next thing, please provide the accommodation from outside participants. Then it is very useful. And also, if possible, my request is, please conduct this type of event with all college management, sir. Then only ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಇಫ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಫೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆದು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಗೋ ಟು ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್, ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. And of course, on behalf of the entire audience or participants here, I would like to thank CIS for conducting this conclave because it gave a lot of opportunity for every one of us here to interact with the industry speakers. Let me highlight or emphasize the point that this conclave was predominantly occupied with the industry speakers. That makes a very special thing over here because coming from academicians and the theme itself says that lessons from industry, and which is probably need of the hour as well, how academia has to get connected with the industry, get to know about their requirements. So overall, I would rate that the entire conclave proceedings was really excellent. So we could pick up a lot many points from each and every speaker over here, and every speaker spoke their heart out, and with so much of respect and trust what they are emphasizing on the academicians. So even we are going away or taking away a lot of responsibilities with us as an outcome of this conclave. So, and finally, the concluding session, that is the planetary discussion which happened exemplarily. So even that's one of the biggest sessions which we witnessed, wherein there was a lot of opportunities and scope for every one of us to interact. And it was overall excellent sessions or excellent event overall for the past 2 days. And once again, on behalf of the entire participants, I thank the organizers wholeheartedly for providing us the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else wanting to give your feedback? Okay. Going ahead, I now request Professor M.K. Shridhar, sir, to give away the presidential remarks. Over to you, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನಾನು ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎನಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ? ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೂದಲು ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗಮನಿಸಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಕೂದಲ ಬಣ್ಣ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತನೂ ಗಮನಿಸಿದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಐ ಕುಡ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು either youth or middle-aged, around 40-45 max. That's what it looks. There can be few exceptions. But in age, there will be a lot of youth. But in terms of various other things, they may not remain youth. And in terms of age, they may not be young. But in terms of their spirits, they are more than young. All kinds of things are there. Friends, what I would like to say is, how many of you belong to that kind of a basic engineering discipline like civil? How many? Civil? No. Civil, mechanical, electrical. Acha, acha. Mechanical, anybody? Acha, acha. Okay. Then one more. Huh? Electronics. Electronics. There are a lot of new areas that are emerging in engineering education. Maybe I may not be very much equipped to say that, but what are the other areas that you represent? Aerospace, Mr. Amog, for aerospace. Computer science, yes. That is end all and be all of, kind of. Okay. Then? Huh? Information science, yes. Huh? Computer application, yes. MCA kind of a thing. Any other new areas? Okay. Why I ask this question is, that means this is a combination of the so-called basic branches and also emerging branches. Am I right? No doubt all of us know that the first year of BTech or BE, whatever, it is more of a generic kind of a thing. And then we get into the various specializations, branches. And nowadays we are seeing some new trends in that. It is not mere one branch, it's a combination of branches, and it is, dual and things like that. And there are also some transdisciplinary areas that are emerging. It is a combination of 2 or 3 and some new area happening. So like that, lot of trends are also happening. And we also know in some of the IITs and other, especially the kind of new universities, new order universities, what we see is there is also a percentage of social sciences being found a place. In fact, many of the IITs, they have School of Social Sciences, Humanities, etc. And of late, we are also seeing, lot of programs or, generic things where lot of Indian orientation is also happening. Say, for example, I came to know that lot of architecture related programs, they have a lot of temple architecture. There are some areas called temple architecture. So like that, lot of things are emerging. And especially, I don't know how many of you are aware, there is a serious policy consideration in our country to remove this identity of the program. See, there is this BA, BSc, BCom, BBA, BTech, BE. See, you are actually differentiating and dividing them. But actually it is actually a whole lot of things. Multidisciplinary education emerging, transdisciplinary areas emerging. Why should there be a difference? And in fact, the major and minors coming, what is major, what is BCom, it is not 100% commerce. If you take economics, it is not 100% economics, arts. So that's why there is a move actually that all undergraduate programs will be called as BS, Bachelor of Science, including BTech, B, etc. And all postgraduate master programs will be called as MS. This is being done in many of the developed countries, some of the countries. I don't call, when we say developed countries, it gives a feeling that are we not developed? See, why should we call somebody as developed and ourselves as less developed and all? Some countries there is this nomenclature. And there is also a very significant move among the various institutions and policy that what is the percentage of non-engineering component in the entire program. Because I think Amog is very much aware, at least in Chanakya University when we thought of engineering program, we wanted to give 20 to 25% of the total credits, non-engineering. And in fact, when we were actually developing the national education policy, there was a very serious discussion. I'm drawing some macro issues, then we will come to few micro issues. There was a discussion, amongst us in the policy group. We have any number of engineers, but why we are having very less number of innovators? See, I am extremely good in civil. I am extremely good in some area, some discipline. There are engineers. But the percentage or the proportion of innovators is very less. And then the discussion revealed and resulted in a very, very important point, that is, engineer can be discipline oriented, but innovator has to be multidisciplinary. You cannot innovate anything if I am specialized in only one thing. Because always innovation is always a very character, the very basic character of innovation is multifaceted. It seems somebody asked Steve Jobs, we know that Mac. No, this is my problem. We have quoted in that our draft report also this entire incident. Steve Jobs was asked a question, that I think you designed Mac by using first-class computer engineers. Then Steve Jobs said no. There was a cross-functional team which consisted of the best computer engineers, the best psychologists, the best musicians, and things like that. All of them put together, they developed the Mac, they designed the Mac. So therefore, the point I am only trying to come across finally is, what kind of education, what kind of programs, what kind of training and education that all these years we are having, I fear that it may not continue for long. It may not continue. For example, the latest, World Economic, summit that happened. The report once in 5 years, the nature of the job completely changes. So when the nature of the job changes, the industry changes. And the people who are going to enter industry need to change. And naturally, the people who prepare people to enter into industry, what is the question? I think that is where all of us are addressed. So I feel that we are all the people who are going to prepare such people who are going to enter such industries, who are going to produce such products, and who are going to satisfy such kind of needs which are going to contribute to such kind of development. So friends, I have only this much to say, in the sense, if this is the case, conclave like this, what do you think personally, what is that we need to take away? I said a context. What happened in the conclave is fine. It was a lot of takeaways, Mr. Sudhakar said, and you also, some of you expressed your experiences. But then the question is, the work has to go on from tomorrow. Am I right? My work has to go on. Even for outsiders, even though there is no accommodation provided, still you need to travel back and then we need to continue. So what do you are getting a feeling, these 2 days conclave is primarily a time to reflect, to think, to address, and to interact. Are you getting any specific things that what managements have to do, what government has to do, what university has to do, all that is there, no doubt about it. But then our job has to continue. So, any specific takeaways for that? Huh? We need to continuously upgrade. For example, madam, you said you are information science. Okay. So suppose if it comes to information science, your good name, if you don't mind? Sushilama. Sushilama ji. Sushilama Aure. Okay. G is little Northish. Okay. So information science, if you feel that you need to upgrade, what does it mean? But it is not there in your syllabus. See, suppose you need to upgrade yourself. You start doing it. But it is not there in the syllabus. And it is not, no question is asked in the examination. Suppose VTU doesn't implement, stops implementing. No, I am not tackling you, please. I am only raising issues. Please don't think, that I am going to handle you, please. They are capable of entering industry. But you are training them in something as a result of which they may not get good marks, good grade, because it is outside syllabus, right? It's outside syllabus. Still, is it relevant? The job, okay. Any other takeaway? you need to prepare them. The raw material, the basic thing has to be very robust, has to be very strong. See, for example, somebody was asking question, Amok, because I know him, that's why I'm able to take his name. I can also remember your name, no problem. Somebody was asking, see, if the nature of jobs keep on changing once in 5 years, then why should we educate? We can only slightly make people to get into industry and let them keep on doing it. Then why do you need education? Because whatever that they are going teaching, it is going to change after a few years. Then what? That's why the greatest learning, that's what somebody was telling me, the greatest learning is not learning. The greatest learning is learning to learn. This we realized especially during the times of Corona. See, all your doors were shut. All your doors were shut. No institution, no colleges, no schools, no tuition, and many a time no examinations. But then, how do you learn? I think we have tremendous innovations of how people started learning when all doors were shut. They only picked up the basic skill of learning to learn. Fine. Anything else? Anything else? Hmm.
Industry people on our own personal patch, I think that makes the valuation of the thing.
Your good name, sir?
Natraj from Acharya College.
Achha. Bangalore.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Natraj.
Yeah.
So I think beyond syllabus is needed. Basically, let me bring a different dimension to what you added. Beyond syllabus is needed to change syllabus also. No, unless the faculty, professors are beyond what's happening, we cannot even upgrade the syllabus also, right? So one very, very important question, who is going to set the agenda? And what is that agenda? Whether the government is going to set the agenda, whether the university is going to set the agenda, whether the institution is going to set the agenda, the principal and others, whether the head of the department is going to set the agenda, all our agenda, I mean. See, from tomorrow onwards, our agenda takes over, right? Who is going to set that agenda? We are talking of so many things, impact, upgrading, and then basic skills, and then beyond the syllabus, various things that we were all talking. But then who is going to set that agenda? As you very rightly said, Faculty members means I think in fact there is a very powerful terminology. I don't know how many of you have picked up a book called Seven Habits of Most Effective People. Stephen Covey. 7 Habits of Most Effective People. In that, it talks about reactive thinking and proactive thinking. Reactive thinking is basically when others drive you, when others push you, you react to that. Proactive is primarily when nobody asks you, still you keep doing it. So I think my agenda has to be set by myself. There is no power on earth can set my agenda. There is no power on earth can set my agenda. My agenda will have to be set by myself. And if it has to be set by myself, that is where some of these things will be useful. So friends, I don't want to take much of your time. I am only reflecting upon, the experience that I had, that I underwent in my life. I never waited for anyone to set something for me. I said for myself and I started going. I think when I start setting my agenda, I start setting agenda of others also. That is what I call as another terminology called circle of influence. Again, Stephen Covey brings in circle of concern, circle of influence. I think every one of us can start setting our own agenda, can become our own circle of influence, and that will start spreading. So friends, I only wish you all the best. And I think Dr. Sudhakar has already said that in higher education, at the macro level, one very important gap, not much of volunteer organizations. In school education, there are any number of NGOs. There are any number of such organizations which come help organize programs and things like that. But in higher education, very less. So, Center for Educational and Social Studies, let me not believe in shortcut like CES or Center for Educational Excellence and Development, shortcut CEED. Instead of that, I think we are here to play that small role. We want to play that humble role. So if you feel that we can network with each other and take this agenda forward, we'll be more than willing. So I extend a warm invitation to all of you to collaborate and to take it further. Maybe this can be a good beginning. All the best. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir. So, as we near to the end of this today conclave, I take this opportunity to thank few people who were behind organizing this whole 2-day conclave. Definitely, it doesn't happen overnight. It is all the efforts and dedication of the team. First and foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude to Professor M.K. Shridhar, sir, for his invaluable guidance and visionary leadership and for gracing this valedictory session. A special thanks to Dr. G.P. Sudhakar sir, who is behind conceptualizing this whole technical conclave and leading this initiative. Your insights and strategic direction have added immense value to these sessions, sir. Thank you so much. We are also immensely grateful to Dr. K.N. Subramanya sir, who has been behind doing the institutional networking that helped us in so many meaningful collaborations. And my heartfelt thanks to Professor Vishnukant Chetpalli sir, member Executive Council CES, and Professor Shivamurthy from VTU for their continued support in institutional networking that has been instrumental in the success of this event. A sincere thanks to all the distinguished speakers and chief guests for their valuable contributions and for sharing their expertise. We also extend our gratitude to the principals of engineering colleges who have encouraged their faculty and have sent them here, ensuring active academic engagement in this dialogue. A special thanks to you, to all the participants, including those who have traveled from different parts of the state and beyond for your enthusiastic deliberations and active involvement in all the discussions. Thank you, all of you. Our gratitude to Executive Council members of CES, Governing Council members of CEED, and all academic and non-academic staff of CES, Dr. Gaurisha, Director CES, who have been behind the scenes to ensure the smooth execution of this event. I should make this specific mention because he was struggling around in organizing this event, Mr. Medappa, Research Associate of CEED, for his dedicated contributions and unwavering commitment in organizing this conclave. Thank you, Medappa. I also sincerely thank the Secretary and Management Committee members of KEA for their continued support. A heartfelt thanks to the documentation team, Jigna and Renu, where they are going to capture this whole discussions, insights, and recommendations that is going to serve as a valuable reference to us in the future. A big thank you to the videography team for their efforts in ensuring that every moment of this conclave is being captured. To all those who have supported this event directly and indirectly, whether through logistics, coordination, or behind the scene efforts, their contributions has been invaluable. Thank you, all of you. And this conclave is the beginning of a stronger network, deeper collaborations, and impactful initiatives. Thank you all once again, and we look forward to staying connected and working together. Thank you, all of you. And you can collect your certificates in the dining area. Thank you.